All right, Nikki, good to see you.
Hey, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. And then we got a couple of different, we got a lot to discuss today, so we're going to get right at it. But before we start, we had a couple conversations off air. First, thank you for being here. I mean, it means a lot to me. Number two would be, I want to ask you right away, how are you dealing with the quarantine?
Oh, yeah, the $1 million question.
I ask everybody that now. That's how we open every show.
I actually am really excited to be here. Not only just, I appreciate what you do, but it made me wash my hair today. So
I guess that can be perceived as a good thing, right?
And I put makeup on. It was like, it took me like a much longer time to get ready today because I'm not used to it. But
what day is it today anyways? We don't date these shows except now in the pandemic era. We are dating these shows.
You know what? It is Cinco de Mayo.
It's Cinco. It's that's May 5th, right?
Yeah. You're so
it's
smart.
Monday.
You paid attention.
In school, I did. Hard to believe.
Quarantine's, to me, it's pretty annoying. I am homeschooling. I don't think I'm doing a really good job with the homeschooling of the children. They're kind of self-sufficient for the most part.
Are you including the schooling in with bathing and eating and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Teacher's gonna love you.
They already. The kids just really don't test me. You get maybe 2 or 3 times where I have to tell you to do something, and then if you threaten to take away the electronics and things, it seems to work out for them.
Yeah, I know. What a built-in punishment there, right? I don't think our parents had that. I know my parents didn't have that.
Yeah, right. I don't see the point in bitching about it too much because nobody wants to hear it, and then you start World War III on who thinks what, and so we're just doing what we're told to do, and I'm outside. The kids are outside as much as they can be.
Right.
So any chance the weather's nice here in Pittsburgh, we're outside getting the fresh air, and that's been, to me, that's been like a saving grace, is just getting out. I'm out running when I can. The kids are biking and doing things like that. But it sucks, but it's okay. We're getting through it. And like I said, to bitch about it is just completely pointless.
Yeah, I think you're not alone there. Do you think the kids are struggling with it at all?
Yes and no. They're not in the house depressed and moping around, but they've had they're definitely the children of this generation here. I definitely feel bad for because I feel like some of them are being stripped of a lot of things. If I was a senior, I would find it tough. If I was an athlete who was working on something that I had worked so hard for all these years, and then I would probably find that tough.
Absolutely. The seniors really got screwed.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, they earned that to get to that point. And man, I miss sports for sure.
You're not alone.
What else is there to talk about?
I don't know. We better find out something because you're on a podcast.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Yeah, the kids. I do feel bad for the kids.
Yeah, I had a couple guests on prior. Freddie Koala was on, and we talked about that, but we came to the conclusion that it's tough for the kids. It's tough for the kids.
Right.
Meanwhile, honestly, is it really that tough? A lot of them want to skip school, right? When you're that age, skip school. And now it's so tough because now you're not going to school. Yeah. It's you can't have it both ways.
Listen, right? My kids, particularly my son, who's 14 and a half, his grading scale has now got moved. An 85 to 100 is an A. I'm like, bro, please get straight A's.
Wait, what? What?
80. So since the online schooling thing started, they've changed the grading scale a bit. So
you gotta be kidding me.
So right. So an 85 to a 100 is an A. And I'm thinking, dude, if you don't get straight A's for the first time in your life, Like, what am I going to do with you?
Yeah, 85 is now on A. Yeah,
85.
Keep dumbing it
85,
down.
and you're looking the answers up on your phone while you're typing them in. Because that's where we're at this point. I'm like, can you just get it turned in? You're all going to be behind starting next year anyway.
Exactly right. Well, you know, we're going to get into Pure Sweat, your business. We'll get into a lot of different things, but we'll get into nuts and bolts of that down the line here. But first, the business shutdown. Obviously, you're affected. I'm affected. Pretty much everybody's affected.
Right.
Especially now in the lower counties in this state.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Governor Wolf or his administration in terms of this pandemic?
Honestly, I'm not a big political person, and I'm not even going to lie. I don't vote.
You don't vote?
I don't.
You don't vote?
I know. I'm sure people just turned it off. They're done listening.
No, it's your right not to. It's your right to do whatever you want to do.
Let me tell you why. Because I can't honestly say that I know enough to choose a side. And I'm like that in a lot of aspects of my life.
I find myself like that in the voting booth often, but I still vote.
So you want me to go in and just press? What do you press buttons? What do you do? I don't even know what.
You never voted?
No.
In your entire life, you never voted?
No.
Not one time?
No.
Not for a president election?
No.
Nothing?
No. You know why? Because I have to pay taxes no matter what.
That's all true.
And I get, I don't talk about religion, and I really try not to talk about politics. I'll do it with you. But I'm going to let you know, like, I don't know enough where I can really say that I should go in there and start pushing buttons.
Okay, so politics aside, because it doesn't matter, left, right, center, doesn't make any difference. Do you think, I mean, that's good. It's kind of a loaded question. Do you think that the business shutdown for as long as it's been going on, do you think it's still justified, or do you think it's time that we start opening up the state?
I feel like it's now become a level of control, it seems like. And even if I didn't own my own business, I feel that there may have been a better way to do this.
Okay.
In which, quarantining those susceptible may have been a good place to start. So hospitals, nursing homes, child care facilities, telling people if, they were worried that here are the precautions that could have been taken, maybe lessening how we enter certain stores like Walmart, Target, things like that, where like everyone's touching everything. I feel like there could have been controls set in place that still allowed for certain businesses to be open. Hair salons, if you told them that they had to stay X amount away and they're willing to take their customers' temperatures before they walk in, or whatever, and they could have 3 people in there per hour or whatever it was.
Right.
I just feel like certain stipulations could have allowed society to not be at it literally at its worst.
Do you think the government, let's just talk about Pennsylvania. Do you think the Pennsylvania administration, the executive branch, which is the governor and his administration, do you think they panicked? I mean, 'cause it seems to me like we just panicked, and then out of sheer panic, we just shut everything down.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to thinking about how each little sector could handle their business.
Right. It seems like could it be panic? Could they have taken the easy way out and said, you know what, I'm just not going to deal with any of this, as opposed to having to break it down by county?
Right.
Because, of course, that would have taken, so much work to do.
Tad bit of sarcasm in there.
A little bit, yeah. I think that as it stands right now, I feel like all the questions they're being asked, they talk in circles. So you never really get your answer. And then they're giving dates, and then they're not following up with the dates. And people were looking at that date, man. Like, whenever it was like, hey, May 8th, we get to open, like, I was like, May 8th, May 8th. And living for May 8th, and then it got moved, Or even back in March, it got moved to April. And then it got moved to the end of April. I mean, people were literally They don't know any other day they don't know what day it is, but they know when that governor's coming on to let us know. If you know what I mean, like if I could run up to my business and unlock the door, and
Right.
it's I try not to watch the news anymore. Like
Yeah, it's tough. And then what is news anymore? Like it depends on what channel you get, is what affiliation you have. It's so polarizing. And you're a big social media person. I mean,
Yeah.
we connected initially a couple of years ago over social media. So you see all the vitriol. I notice you don't partake in it. You're very wise not to do that. But what's your thoughts on how caustic the current environment is on? Let's just take Facebook, for example.
It's terrible. I've kept my humor in all this. I love the memes. I love all the funny memes. I love reading through all the comments where like everyone's right. Here's what I found. If you post something, and then sure enough, you're going to find the people that just want to fight about it. They just want to, because there's nothing else to do.
They're looking for it.
Right. So they're on like, you're this, da 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 da. And if you simply type back, I respect your opinion, they don't, that's it.
Yeah, it diffuses the whole thing.
Yeah, they're like, well,
he or she's not going to fight me.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
literally, I respect how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a difference of opinion. And then they're lost. They're mind blown.
So
they're done.
So with those folks, do you think it's more about their feelings or their mental philosophy, if they have one?
I feel like everybody's fear stricken. Nobody wants to say I'm afraid, right? No one's going to come out and be like, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point. That's
who
a
wants
very
to say
good point.
that? Because you're looked at as weak.
Well, I was afraid the first couple of weeks. I was terrified. I was watching the news and hearing things, and
yeah,
I wasn't even thinking about my business. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm 54. Am I like now in the age where I'm going to get this? Do I have underlying conditions I don't
Yeah.
know about? Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, my dad was out buying guns, and my brother lives in Puerto Rico, and we were all going to take a boat and like be on this island by ourselves. Like, I'm like, Dad, dude, like, come on, go get you some toilet paper and get off my back for like, jeez.
The new currency, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was literally like insanity, complete chaos. And again, thank you, media, for, freaking some people out. But back to being afraid, you're looked at as weak if you're afraid of something. So either you won't own it as being afraid, or, that's kind of my feeling on it. But
Right.
I don't think people they're not wanting to they're starting to have their own thoughts now. I feel like it's been long enough where there's some of the people in the beginning that I was like, Stitcher, stay home, and you're I'm taking pictures of myself on the trail, and they're like, you're going to kill everyone.
I get it.
See, I was that person. Yeah. Like, I was, and I'm all, I have lupus, so no, I'm not, because I'm on that Plaquenil drug, that everybody's taking that has COVID.
Yeah.
Like, come hang out with me. I'm immune to COVID.
How do you pronounce that?
Hydrochloroquine.
Hydrochloroquine.
Yeah. It's like I should be selling it black market
Yeah,
now.
half the country thinks it's great, and that's the solution to the problem. And half the country, because the other half likes it, doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And thinks it's going to get everybody infected and die.
Right. So.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I think people now are starting to come out and finally maybe try to attempt to have their own thoughts and feelings on it. But like, I really just want to go back to the Facebook days where like you saw a picture of like
of a cat.
Of a cat, or like somebody's like poor judgment over the weekend, and you just completely were judging them on what they were doing. Like, like, oh, she's a whore. But like, I just want to get back there to that, not me personally, but, just like, can we just go back to like quietly judging everybody?
Yeah. But it's there's a lot of humor in that, but there's a lot of reality in that too.
Oh, it's so true.
It's so, and I remember 2011-ish, I was, Facebook junkie. I'm Facebook junkie, right? And I remember saying to myself, why are there so many fucking cats on there? For a while there, people were there was all you saw on Facebook, like 2011-ish, people's cats. I don't know why. It was a thing.
You
Even
remember
people
that?
Didn't have cats had cats on there.
Yeah.
And I remember now, as annoying as that was, I would love to have that return.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just miss seeing people's like the stupid shit they would do, and now it's I try. I do post a lot. I do. But I post humor, some of the dumb shit my kids say all day. All in good humor and sarcasm, because that's kind of the way I am. Occasionally throwing in the some positive outlook on whatever.
I
and then
I think your stuff's real negative. I mean, you don't come off that way at all.
No, not at all. Much super sarcastic, and I mean, I have a pretty raunchy humor, so for a girl too, yeah. But you could always tell who doesn't care for your. Care for yourself.
Well, let me ask you this one philosophical question. Then I want to get on to the charity work that you've done with your daughter, Carson.
Sure.
Do you think, because I ask most of my guests this question, it's kind of a loaded question. Do you think that we're living in a culture right now where a lot of our society is looking to be offended? They're looking to be offended.
Oh my gosh, yeah. About anything, honestly. I mean, like, they'll fight with you. The sky's not blue, whatever. I mean, it's that bad. I think that people don't think for themselves, and I don't think they mean to do it. I think you hear it, it's beaten into your head, whether it's, social media, and I think that that's a big thing, TV, the media in general, the news and stuff. But I think that, dude, I think we're being like mind fucked. And I feel like people don't even get that they are, that, if you hear, you're rude, you're rude, you're rude, you're rude, you're rude. I mean, there's going to come a point
You believe it.
where you believe it. And that's just mental weakness at its best.
Well, they're beating the public down, don't you think?
Yeah.
They're beating them down.
And they don't have nothing else to do.
We still have free will, though. We still have,
Do we?
So, I think so.
Okay.
I think we have the right to do what we want to do. I think we can do what we want to do. I just don't think, I think we're lazy. We just do what we're instructed.
I don't think we have I don't even, I mean, it just goes back to politics, but I don't even know what my rights are.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's
in the
people that are...
pandemic era.
Yeah, I hate the word pandemic, dude. I hate it. I
don't even know what that means.
You know what it is? It's, yeah, but see, that's what I'm talking about right there, Eric. You are just you were mind blown away to think that you got to call it a pandemic. Like, I'm just calling it like a really bad flu season or something, you know?
They say it's not the flu, though, I mean,
right, okay, maybe it's not the flu, but if every year during flu season they did this with numbers in the media...
We never
be
open.
the same shit.
We never open.
Be the same shit every year. And I do, listen, my heart hurts for the people that have lost loved ones and for people in the medical field that are seeing this go on. But I have to believe in my heart of hearts, especially somebody with an autoimmune disease, that there's not pre-existing conditions that go into, okay, I got sick or this person got sick and may have passed away from COVID.
Right.
And I'm going to stand fast to that. And I do know people that have lost loved ones. And again, my heart goes out to them, but I just feel like I hope that every year from here on out, though, we don't fall into this not a trap, but this hole that we're digging over like disease now. Because if you look at, if cancer and you look at, drug addiction and things like that, I mean, or even how about the soldiers that die? Like, it's not, I mean, we don't have this like blown out.
We don't stop society.
Because people, right?
Yeah,
and that might sound ignorant, and I'm not trying to be.
I
but
don't think it comes across. I think these are honest questions to ask, and it's really tough right now because my sphere is pretty big, and I'm proud of that. And I know a lot of people in a lot of different fields, you obviously included, and there's a lot of different opinions. So
Right.
I have to, we were talking off camera, doing this show. This is your show, so what I feel is just thrown in tidbits to carry the conversation with any guest. But I have to think about constantly my friends in the medical community who are seeing this firsthand.
Right.
And then my small business friends some of them are just dying financially.
Right.
It's like it's hard mentally, I think, on most of us.
Yeah. So with that, I've just tried to, and again, I don't want to sound rude in any way, but I've tried to control what I can control, which is myself and my thoughts. And so if I just worry about myself, my kids, everybody else is going to continue to feel how they want to feel and do what they want to do. And you can be empathetic to the people that are, your friends, like your businesses. And,
Right.
We all have friends in the medical field.
Right.
But I can't control what they're doing, and I can't control how they feel. And so I think if more people were just like focused on controlling themselves and their minds, that it would be like less toxic on the internet right now.
So your thought would be everybody look inward a little bit, as opposed to we're really concerned about what other people are doing in this country.
Oh yeah.
Like not just now, but like what other people have.
Yeah.
Do they have more than me?
Right.
Are their opportunities better than mine?
Right.
And I think this pandemic is exploiting that, making it even bigger.
Yeah, it's honestly, that's what I think. I think
Put your mask on.
People need to, yeah, it's in my purse. Do you want me to? I'm more than 6 feet away from you in a different room.
Yeah, we are. So we have the pandemic set up at the Boogie Street Studio. Nikki's in one room. I am in the main studio. Hopefully we don't have to do this much longer, but we're doing it to be socially distant compliant. You're compliant today.
Yeah, dude, like for the first time, and you're making a role model of a person out of me.
There you go. So let me turn to the channel here a little bit. I don't know if it's you assisting your daughter, your daughter's idea, however it came about. Tell us about it. But Carson, your daughter, spearheaded with your assistance a campaign, a T-shirt campaign for charity that I thought it was really cool, and it was called "I Will Be Your Friend."
Yes, yeah, that's right. So in the last 2 years, we moved school districts, and when you're the new kids, it's tough. Like it's tough. Like the Carson will be 10 on Thursday.
Okay.
Wow. So yeah, it's crazy. If she makes it till then. Dude, she's cruising, but
a pandemic will do that to you, right?
Listen,
quarantine will do that to you.
I don't know. I think she needs to go to school. But yeah, so she for one, she wears her heart on her sleeve, and like she wants to save everybody and everything from like, the worms all the way to a human, but more animals than anything. And so she is always very creative in her drawing, and she, comes home and she'll talk about things that happened in class and how she thought that it was unfair treatment to somebody. And so she would always draw. She's very creative. And so she made a little sign in her little writing, and it said, "I will be your friend." And it was just, just not bubble letters, nothing fancy. And I was like, I've done so much charity work in my life. I'm so proud to say that. I don't say that for like somebody to like come high five me, but it's so rewarding. I was a Make-A-Wish volunteer. I've done a lot of stuff with the homeless, a lot of stuff with handicapped. So, and that comes from my mother. We were always real big into giving back. Even like when we grew up with nothing, it was like, dude, time is worth so much.
No question.
So I contact little screen printing place that I know, small business. One of my friends owns Ink Division in Braddock, and they were willing to create this website. I wanted her to have a shirt made from it. And then we kind of thought, like, what can we do with this? So Jason, the owner of Ink Division, was super gracious and said, you know what? If we take the print, we'll make a website, I will donate back X amount of the dollars. I'm thinking, okay, cool. Like, we could do some really cool things.
Right.
Going into it, I said to Carson, who do you want to help? Of course, dogs. Shelters was on their dogs. And then
kids and their pets, eh?
I'm telling you. And then she wanted to really focus on other students in school districts where funding was very low. And teachers I often see on social media, I'm sure you do too, they're paying things out of their own pockets for their classrooms. Because the schools can't get funding. So we wanted to fund some projects in some inner city schools or some schools that were in a bad way. And in Pittsburgh, but really, I wasn't just stuck with her, especially when sales hit other states. So then sales hit states, 10 states and 20 states and 30 states. And then before you know it, she had, all but 7 states or something covered. She had Hawaii on there, which is cool. And she actually had a sale in Australia, London. So she ended up raising over $7,000 in a month and a half. And she got to do the funding. She got to, pick and choose the classrooms that she was going to help from a list.
Right.
The program's called Donors Choose. And you go online, and it's from all over the country, and it's teachers that are literally taking their own time to go on there and say, hey, I need markers and pencils and crayons and things. It costs $200. And then people can go on, anybody can go on, and you literally can put an amount in their bucket.
Yep.
So we were able to fully fulfill a lot of teachers' wishes for their classrooms.
How about that?
Yeah, so it was I think the biggest thing was like I'm the one on social media, she doesn't have social media. So I'm the one pushing, and having people share and things like that. The power
of that, yeah.
Yeah, like I wish it was more positive, right? Like social media was more positive that way. But I don't think she really got the effects of like how big this had been. And she was in a couple news articles, a couple magazines for it. But what started to happen was as we funded things like uniforms to schoolgirls in Atlanta who didn't have appropriate uniforms, winter jackets, gloves, and hats to some classes in the Bronx.
Right.
Chicago, we did like an area rug for sitting and learning and markers and books. A couple classrooms in Stowe Rocks, Stowe Rocks Elementary and Middle School. We funded some projects there. So things like that. The teachers would have their class write letters to Carson, thank you letters. And they would send them in the mail with pictures of the things that Carson had purchased. And that was huge. It was huge because she was able to physically hold these thank you letters. And like some of them were like by first graders, their cute little writing and crayons and everything misspelled. And, the pictures and being able to like really see the impact she was having, not only for that, but to see how good she has it. And, they go to they're in West Allegheny School District, and the district's wonderful. I mean, they're so good to the students.
Right.
So, it was pretty incredible for her to be a part of, and I hope she takes that with her for the rest of her life.
I mean, what an impact to have at that age. And you're right, she probably couldn't grasp the entire scope of the whole thing. But she probably will look back on it someday, and it'll hit her.
I hope. I mean, we've saved every letter that came in and every correspondence from a teacher. So, yeah, I mean, the things now, I think, the the things that we do with our kids now is like, you know, we're going to teach them how to be good, decent humans now. Not that they're not going to make mistakes. Like, I still do dumb shit every day. You know what I mean? But it's like...
You're not alone.
But it you know, just to kind of like give them those experiences now to do something that they can like look back on and maybe carry some of the things with them to, you know, especially like high school.
It's so hard for perspective. Would you not agree in regards to a child that age living in America, generally, middle-class America, let's just say, it's got to be real hard for them with all that's available, you know, because we all want to spoil our kids, right? I mean, you know, it's funny. My parents would spoil my kids growing up. And I would look at them cross-eyed like, are you kidding me? I mean, we had one pair of jeans, one pair of tennis shoes, and 3 shirts, right?
Right.
But it's probably hard for Carson or any child over the last 25 years to really have appreciation for those less fortunate, because it's not going to be something they see every day.
Yeah. So I think that volunteer work is extremely important. I think it's raw, you know, I think it's something that the kids need to see. And we've gone and fed the homeless. And I know a ton of people that would say, why would you take your kid? I mean, you could be in danger, right? I mean, I get it. Mm-hmm. You could be in danger walking up to anybody on the street who's living on the street, not knowing, you know, what their circumstances are like or how they'll react to you approaching them with clothing, blankets. And we didn't go through anybody. We just bagged a bunch of shit up, and we bagged up we went shopping for food, and we literally, like, I worked downtown forever. We literally like walked up to like their camp.
Right.
And was
that could
like,
be a little dangerous.
Right. But I mean, so you have to do a little research, right? Sure, like, you know, sure. And obviously, yeah, you're taking a chance. I mean, the kids stayed in the car until I like went up and kind of made sure things were cool. But you know, some of those experiences, maybe you go to a soup kitchen, you know, or something. It's a little more organized and like less scary, maybe. But like some people just don't. They think their kids shouldn't see that. It blows my mind. Yeah,
and I think that there's a portion of society that will never be charitable, and then there's a portion of society that comes to charity begrudgingly and out of fear at times.
Right.
Which is sad.
Right.
Very sad.
And then there's a portion of people that give so they could go, look what I did.
There's a portion of people that do that, for sure. They use it as some kind of social currency of some kind,
right.
Maybe, right?
Right. So, yeah, but, I mean, there's lots of programs out there. I mean, obviously everything's on hold now, but there's lots of things that you could do. The Hayward House is a great place for kids to go help other kids. Mm-hmm. And they invite you to bring the youth in and have them do something that they're going to walk away from and probably remember, you know?
Is there so I just purchased T-shirts. Is this a second campaign now you're doing?
Yeah, we kind of like... Well, she was going to release some other stuff because her store is open indefinitely. So we had closed it down after the fundraiser itself, and we got that check and everything. And then we thought, you know what? Why don't we just keep it open? And every time there's purchases and we receive the money from it, like let's keep. And we're really good at posting the stuff that the money goes for,
right? Because
we're not a nonprofit,
right?
We don't have that title. What we do have is credibility. Mm-hmm. Which is huge. You know, people trust and they know that I've been fundraising forever to know that I'm taking this money and I'm not going to Punta Cana with it to like go on a vacation, right? So it's important to show the public back what's being done, and they love to see it. They love to see where their money went.
It's just a great story. It's a great human interest story. And the idea is great too. And that whole concept of "I will be your friend," that can even apply to the sad epidemic of bullying that we have. You know? It's such a universal message to me.
Right. Well, I appreciate. I know you did purchase, so I'm.
Of course, I did. I got shut out the first time. I did get shut out. The campaign was done. I mean, so it was the campaign. Did you put a finite time on there? What was that? Was that the printer's idea, or was that your idea?
No, it was my idea to have it end, and it was our first go at it. And what she did was Carson hand signed over 500 little postcards with thank yous that went into every package that went out.
Right.
And it had a date on it that everyone was going to have their shirt by. And so she had a nationwide Day Against Bullying, which was December 6th of last year. And literally everybody had their product by December 6th, and they wore it that day. And we got, I mean, the pictures.
How powerful is that?
Oh, it was crazy. It was unbelievable. I would love to do another. You got to get creative with it, though, because it's like, okay, so some people have this shirt. So it's like, I'd love to do another fundraiser on that scale where she had a date for another like National Day of Kindness or something, So but the little one we're doing right now is just we put together in the time of the pandemic, and so there's
that word. See,
see, I know you're. I'm telling you, you're rubbing off on me.
It's scary.
But she's her fundraiser will end in 2 days on her 10th birthday.
Right.
She's hit her goal of over $1,000, and she's using the money to do two things. One, to support small business restaurants,
right?
Because that's who we're using to do our feeding of the medical and frontline workers and first responders.
Got it.
So that's what she's doing now. Granted, it's a tough time for people financially, so we didn't think that it was going to, obviously hit the scale of the I will be your friend thing, but nonetheless, I mean, $1,000 goes a long way when you're helping both small business restaurants and feed the workers that are busting their asses every day and, putting themselves out there. And they should be thanked. It shouldn't be just during a pandemic. So
I think the pandemic has hopefully it's refocused the society's conscious on our healthcare workers, but also I think even in a broader sense, which I feel even better about, people that do serve you every day, and not just necessarily food, but people that are of service to you every day that are still working through this and are at higher risk, obviously, of contracting the disease.
Right.
These folks oftentimes are taken for granted. I mean, I'm guilty, right? I mean, it's someone working delivering something to you, somebody's at a counter serving you in a certain, you're served at a restaurant. We always tip well, but the point is that's kind of put the spotlight on them and their importance in society. Would you agree? I do, especially too. I mean, like even though I am a business owner, I work part-time as a bartender, and my cook is still there. My cooks are still there. And, while we can't be serving alcohol or anything, they're doing takeout and things like that. But yeah, I think that, and my mother's a nurse. And so she's working off the wall hours because she's in private duty. And they don't want that, if there's 4 nurses that take care of one patient, they don't want that rotation. Right.
Yeah, they know my mom's healthy, and they know that she pretty much is like ball and chain there, like she lives there pretty much, So it's like she's working, 12-hour shifts every day, and but yeah, so I think that we should have a newfound appreciation for you hope that there's some kind of like positive lining in this, and maybe people are going to stop taking so much shit for granted.
I would hope. I remember 9/11, there was a lot of hope for the same kind of residual benefit, and I think it was there for a while. And then, of course, society went back into its own way. And I'm not saying we live in a bad society at all. I think generally most people are good. But this is really... I wake up every day and I think I'm like almost in a dream. Like, how is this possible? Number one, I'm wearing a mask in places. I've been ordered pretty much to stay home, and I can't work.
Right. Like what like crazy. I feel like we're being like punked. Remember that show? Like Ashton Kutcher's just going to come out and be like,
big orchestrated punk, I'll tell you that.
Biggest one. Yeah. So yeah, it is. It's super, super weird to go. And now, yeah, I wear a mask when I have to, i.e. grocery shopping.
Yeah.
That's
much.
the only time. And
Yeah,
it's
I got one.
Yeah. So, I don't care for it, but you just put the damn mask on and shut your mouth. You know what I mean?
It's just, you know what, if that's what's required right now, it's not a lot to ask, and none of us would want to. I don't know if the masks are effective. I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not going to go down there. We're being instructed, at least today, we still are being instructed to wear masks in stores and confined areas.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
So fucking do it.
Right. Like, or listen, like, then you don't get your groceries.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and then you're going to get, then, the people that.
People are just so worried about being offended all the time.
Yeah,
like,
just.
I'm being, and I get it. I don't want our rights to be trampled either, and that's a broader discussion. But I just don't. I think just use common sense, right?
Right.
What happened to common sense?
Dude, I literally don't. I think that 7 out of 10, maybe I'm being generous, people have lost common sense. Like, I mean, and they're not giving you a choice. So they're telling you, put it on or don't come in the store.
Yep.
So, you could take your picture of the sign, make your Facebook post about how you're never going there again because they're following the rules they were given. I don't know. It's like at some point, it's just like a lose-lose.
No question. So you are a small business owner. Let's talk about that for a second. You own a company called Pure Sweat.
Yes.
Now, if you hear the name and you don't know the background, that could be anything. Some people think that could be a strip club. Sometimes that could be a gym. That could be an aerobics. It could be a cycling location. It could be anything. Well,
if it were a strip club, I'd have my debt paid off by now, I think. You know what I mean? You might have a new angle for me.
Well, no, that was not an insinuation. That was just, I'm saying, just on the name itself. Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
Franchise, here I come.
Here we go. There we go.
No, you know me. You know.
I know. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh my God. All right. So, it's infrared sauna.
Correct.
And so, number one, what is it? And number two, how did this enter your life?
So infrared sauna being much different than your regular sauna. So your traditional sauna that you go in at the gym, you go in 8 to 10 minutes.
You put the rocks on, you pour water over the rocks. And
yeah, so it's forced, it's steamed, forced air.
They still make them like that?
They do have some like that.
I haven't been in a gym in years.
Yeah.
I haven't been. I don't go to gyms. I just don't. And me sitting in a wooden thing with a bunch of other men, not high on my priority list.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
You know what? Even the ones at the gym, though, too, that are, they kind of gross me out a little bit too. I'm not gonna lie, even from a woman's standpoint.
Pour water. Is that how they are still? You pour water on these
some of them
hot rocks.
Yeah. So infrared naturally exists in the sun.
Okay.
And it's extremely therapeutic. Okay. But we can't get enough infrared because of UV. Your skin cancers and things that come from that. So they've found a way to make infrared by way of sauna. So the infrared, you don't see it. There's no, forced air. There's no steam.
Okay.
It's almost kind of like a frequency.
Okay.
It penetrates 2 to 3 inches deep into the body. So it heats the body's core. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, a ton of things other than sweating go on. So toxins that build up in our body, they are removed by way of water. In your traditional sauna, you lose some water weight and you lose salt. Mm-hmm. With infrared, you lose toxins, but it also simulates a workout. So it speeds the heart rate up as it heats the core of the body. It gets the blood flowing. And so for us people that get older, you know, our bones and our
Wait, what?
what? Yeah.
Us people who get older.
Yeah, us people
I don't
who
want
are
to belong
starting.
to that group.
I don't care how young you look, Eric. I bet you're so.
I'm old.
You're not.
I'm old.
It really helps with circulation. So it's going to push that oxygenated rich blood through the body. This way it helps with inflammation, arthritis, muscle fatigue. So I see anybody from an athlete who needs to get that lactic acid out of their muscles like you would with a massage. Mm-hmm. This is much deeper. To a post-surgical patient who's in pain.
Right.
And they're looking for other ways to supplement out of taking pain pills and wean themselves off of it that way. But it releases endorphins. As it speeds your heart rate up, it simulates a workout. Okay. So you release those feel-good endorphins and you burn 300 to 400 calories in a 30-minute session.
But you burn calories just laying there.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing not to be very gender specific, but I'm guessing there's probably a hell of a lot of women that would see that would want to do it.
Oh yeah, I would honestly.
And men too.
Yeah, I would say that when I first opened, all of my clientele were women.
Okay.
And now it's about 70-30.
Okay.
Yeah, and most of the gentlemen that come in, like I said, they're either athletes or they've had some kind of surgery, chiropractic patients. Mm-hmm. You go in for 30 minutes and people are like, well, how can I stay in there for 30 minutes? Well, because it's not a forced steamed air, it's not thick like in your traditional sauna.
Stuffy.
It's not. So it's the difference between humid and warm. Okay. Right? Humid, it takes your breath away and it's uncomfortable. This warmness is very therapeutic and cleansing.
Is it a bed you lay in? Like, do you sit? How
yeah,
is it?
So I have two different types of infrared sauna. One is like your big wooden cabin, like you would see at a gym.
Right.
And that's full body. Obviously, you sit or lie on a bench. And then I do have this newer one. It's pretty wild for people who are worried about being claustrophobic inside the cabin, or they're worried about the warmth of the air. It's a bed that you lie flat. It's sort of like a half cylinder.
Okay.
And your head sticks out at room temperature, but your body gets all of the infrared therapy while you're in there. So yeah, two different ways to use infrared sauna. And right now it's like about education for me. Sure. You know, it's really.
How did you get introduced to it? How did this come into your life?
Well, I probably, like every woman at some point in their life, was on like the whole I want to lose weight, but like I want to work out, but I still want to like do more than work out. So I want all the help I can get type of thing. Let me order
looking for the magic fix.
Yeah, like let me order. I had at one point like every dietary supplement from GNC known to man, like, you know, like thousands of dollars in diet. But when I found infrared heat therapy, it was a place located in the North Hills. There were none around here. There still aren't. Right. And it was, burn, weight loss while you just lay there. And I'm like, sign me up. You know, who doesn't want to do that? So my girlfriend and I, we actually like went in this like tandem room. Okay. Which, by the way, like all of my saunas are in private rooms. Right. You're not. I've had people ask me like, do I bring my bathing suit and go in with someone else? Like, no, yeah, you're in your own private suite. Yeah,
which is better. That's better.
Yeah, it is nice. It's going to be a lot better too when I get to reopen, because I'll be able to follow protocol a lot more. You know, but. So I go in, and I mean, I felt amazing from it. I had this great energy, natural energy level. You feel lighter just because of the detoxification. Right. And when you sweat, since you're not losing salt, you're not gross after. There's no smell. Your skin's very clean. You're not salty, if you can imagine that. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of went through my bat with that, and then came across it again with my diagnosis of lupus.
Yeah. Talk about that a bit.
So I was diagnosed 7 years ago. And after seeing a bazillion doctors that couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, I had a biopsy of my tissue done by an infectious disease doctor who confirmed that that's exactly what I had. So autoimmune disease, where your basically your system, it attacks itself. So my immune system works overtime, but it doesn't benefit me. It takes all the good, it affects your white blood cells that help you fight infection. But I always tell people when I was at my worst, it was like feeling like you had the flu, but you didn't have the flu. Joint pain, like even pain closing your hands to hold a pen, muscle fatigue. And then honestly, just straight up depression after some point. Because every time you'd go to the doctors, like, make me feel better, and they'd hand you a script for something, but you'd have
pharmaceuticals.
Not a fan. Not a fan at all. And so the script you would get, you'd need another script for the side effects of that script. And then, at one point I was like, I had like a book bag of like prescriptions that I had to take everywhere with me.
Steroids too?
Oh, yeah. Steroids, and then you'd blow up, and then you're hungry, and then you're angry, and then, but for somebody like me who was always into their fitness, for me to like gain weight, like to that degree, again, depression. And I take it all back to like the mental fight over the physical fight. So I started using infrared heat therapy again, now for the right reasons. Not that you can't come for the calorie burn, but the way that it makes your body feel is absolutely incredible.
Right.
So I started getting back on my fitness game. And
how'd you find it though? When you were researching therapies for yourself, did that actually one of the options it showed for you?
If I can remember right, after I found it for the whole, like, they were repping it as like a weight loss thing. Okay. Now, I can sell it on weight loss all day, but that's not how I want to do it.
Sure.
Then coming back to the second business that I had gone into, like that I had used for their infrared saunas, I was using it for what I feel is the right reasons, which was to have my body feel better and to help eliminate some of the medications for the things that I needed it for.
Right.
So it wasn't like I typed in like lupus remedy and that came up.
Got it.
It was like natural remedies for XYZ that I was going through.
Got it.
Then I started to say, you know what? I'm going to do a little bit of research here, and nothing existed in the Robinson, Kennedy, Moon, North Fayette area. And against people's wishes of
course.
What are you doing? What are you doing? We don't have money for this.
Welcome to entrepreneurship, my friend.
We don't have money for this, and no one knows what the hell you're doing. I'm like, well, it's education. So I researched the shit out of it and bought a couple saunas and found a doctor who was willing to take me in. And
so you started in a doctor's office?
I did. And it was a great beginning opportunity.
Okay.
But the environment wasn't for me. It was a very busy, successful doctor's office. And it was very high traffic.
Got it.
And so it wasn't as relaxing as I wanted. I didn't need a spa. I don't call myself a spa. I don't call myself a salon. I would like to think I go on like health and wellness.
Right.
If you're looking at the COVID list, I'm going to put myself under personal care when we hit the go to open.
Right.
And honestly, half the people don't even know what it is that I do anyway, so I could put myself under pretty much anything except for like liquor store. I could probably have stayed open the whole time. No one knows what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, so I took a chance, and and then I just moved into a new location in North Fayette.
Right. You're off of the exit there, right?
I'm right off of the old Steubenville Pike, so everyone knows the Tonydale.
Yes.
I'm on the other side. I'm right, like when you get off the exit going towards 2230, you're looking at my red brick building.
Right. When you come to the end of the ramp, it's right,
That's
almost right across the road.
That's right.
Okay.
So it's
Montour Church Place, is that it?
That is, yeah, okay. Montour Church Road. It's a fabulous, fabulous location. I'm central to all the major parkways, and it's been I went there in January into that location, and had, I mean, the best numbers I've ever had, and just grew by triple.
Wow.
Until COVID was like, screw you. Screw you and your stupid dreams.
You're not alone.
Yeah. So
you've been surviving. I mean, have you been, is the business, are you okay? Have you been surviving with this almost 2 month shutdown now?
So the first month, I literally made a post that said, listen, if anyone buys a package, because I kind of went into a little bit of panic mode.
Well, sure.
Well, first off, I didn't follow instructions.
I'm not surprised.
If I'm being honest.
I'm not surprised.
We'd like sneak in the back door and things like that. But then it got to be, I was like paranoid about it. And I'm like, listen, I'm like sort of newer and I have a pretty good reputation. Like, I'm not trying to piss off any of these North Fayette cops, so I'll just do what
But it's been so confusing too. I mean, the way it was rolled out, it was hard to really understand, there wasn't any real directive outside just shut down.
Right.
Like, we mean shut down.
Right.
Shut down.
Right.
Now, your Target's open and I guess there's food there, right?
Yeah.
But your Home Depot and Lowe's are open.
Right.
Because you got to nail those two pieces of wood together.
Dude,
that's essential to life, right?
Listen, from your perspective, Eric, as being in a realtor, do you know how many home improvements have been done? So these people, if they're going to flip houses,
I don't know. Oh my God, I don't know.
They're going to be like, I did this during COVID. See this upgrade? What's my house worth now?
I hope that's what's going on. I think a lot of heavy drinking is what's been, and it's really been going on.
Yeah,
but
you have to check on that work.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Been done.
Some work might have been accomplished, but the question is the quality of it based upon the mental state of the people doing it.
Right. And I know you do your job well, so I'm sure you'll be getting into that.
Well, hopefully I can go back soon. It's crazy. I mean, I just don't know. I'm hopeful for everybody. And anytime the problem I think is, it's going to revert back to our earlier conversation, Nikki. The moment you say something as a small business owner that you want to go back to work, that you think it should be open, as soon as you say that publicly, you open yourself up to a ton of criticism from those who are terrified.
Yeah.
And I understand. It isn't us versus them. It's not us versus them. We just, if you're collecting a paycheck or your government benefits have kicked in and you're scared and you're home with your family quarantining, but you still got money coming in and you can eat, all right, well, your perception of life is totally different than the small business owner who's shut down and has no income coming in and may lose it all.
Right. And I had to really reel that in the first few weeks that I was closed down. Mm-hmm. I had shared a couple posts about, just articles.
Right.
And I realized that I'm wondering, are the effects of the judgment that I'm receiving for my opinion, are they going to be on me as personally, or are they going to carry over? Because they weren't on my business page.
Got it.
But how you, you carry both kind of everything together.
Absolutely,
they know who you are.
Yeah. It's my name is the brand.
Am I just going to be this selfish asshole that's looked
upon?
Optics
are important.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Because I'd love to tell all you how I really feel.
Yeah. Dude, you're so right. And it's is this gonna hurt my business?
It could.
I get to go back.
It could.
Or are people, once they get to start living, the way they were to a point, gonna go, okay, they're gonna look back and realize maybe they were assholes on the internet.
You can hope that happens, but you can't bank on that.
Yeah. So, I really veered away from. People know how I feel. Okay, right? Like I said it a couple of times. I don't need to say it every day.
You manage your online presence exceptionally well. There's no question.
I'm excited for the chance that I get to reopen. That's really all I can say right now.
Yeah, and I think we all are. It's so hard because I just happen to once in a while kind of somewhat maybe have a little bit of an opinion on matters. And once in a while I want to give it,
Yeah.
But it's really difficult.
And you should, though. But
tactfully.
Yeah. The thing is it ends up becoming less of your posts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's funny.
Because then you have people, is what I'm finding. I have people that literally have never, ever liked anything I've posted. Never. I'm friends with them on social media because I have a public page because of business and because I don't give a shit. Like, you want to look my shit up? Go, like,
right.
I don't care.
Yeah, you're
I'm not
going
gonna
book.
Yeah.
Right.
So they literally have never even shared a post, liked the post, had anything to say about anything that I'm doing that's good.
Right.
Right. But you have an opinion, and here they come, man. They're
looking to be offended, and they want to lash out.
Yeah.
But the sad part about it is, and I mentioned this to Rocco Koza, who was on recently, for whatever reason, it always seems to come down to Trump and those who hate Trump. They want every issue. It could be the Yankees versus the Red Sox in a baseball game, and you will have Trumpers and those who hate Trumpers.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how it got that way, completely that toxic over and so polarizing on two sides. It isn't even Republican, Democrat. It's not. It's those, you hate them or you love them, and somehow that infuses into everything else in life. I don't get it.
Yeah. Again, the whole like
the political thing
the whole
nuts.
political thing it's completely wild. But like they'll go off on tangents about gun laws. Like what? Like we weren't even. I don't even own a
about
gun.
My business being shut down.
Yeah,
my
like
red sauna business is down, but now guns somehow.
Yeah,
showed up.
like guns kill people. Like okay.
Yeah,
it's
where
like,
do guns come from? Well,
yeah.
And that's a good point because I had Matt Simmons on yesterday, and he's a supporter of Reopen Pennsylvania, and he helped spearhead a lot of these rallies where people would go and they want to reopen Pennsylvania.
Right.
And I had looked at some of the pictures coming out of those rallies, and there's little elements, and of course the media is going to take the most caustic thing, right? So there were some people that showed up with firearms, probably legally.
Oh yeah.
And I asked him, I said, Matt, does it really? I mean, I understand your cause, and I probably lean toward agreeing with you there. But just because someone has the right to bear arms, what kind of optics is it when they show up armed to the hilt at a peace rally?
Yeah, they got like a rocket launcher on their back
for a small business open. So and again, you're always going to get fringe people, right? Just like on Facebook, right? People are going to be fringe.
Well,
but
people are. It's so extreme now.
Right.
So extreme. And like, I feel like since some people don't have anything to do with their time constructively, they get behind that keyboard or that cell phone, man. And it's like.
It's liberating for them.
Ooh, yeah. It's just like, wow.
That's the great thing about the internet and the worst thing about the internet. The great thing about the internet is this level the playing field and giving everybody a voice.
Right.
And the worst thing about the internet, it's giving everybody a voice. Some don't deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, I have not like unfriended anybody or I just don't. Silly. I just even if I make a post, sometimes I don't even come back to it.
Yeah. I'll
find yourself doing that?
I've done a couple where I've said my piece. Like my standpoint is this. It's my wall. And I choose to make a statement. It's how I'm feeling at the moment, and I care to share it. I'd make a decision. I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for agreement. I don't care if you agree, disagree. You are more than welcome to battle it out on my wall. I'll sit there with popcorn and laugh my ass off. But if you attack me personally,
right.
Which is because it's just silly.
Yeah.
I don't want to be bothered with that.
No, for sure.
It's not worth it.
I think, I think the people that are looking at it like you and I are, when we get to re-exist in society, I I think that, you know, and I've heard it, there's just people that kept it light and fresh for the most part.
And funny.
Yeah. Like, listen, I got anything that if I can make fun of a situation, like I make fun of myself more than anybody, like than I look at anything else.
Right.
And like people love that shit. Like if you're willing to make fun of yourself,
of course,
like
we all should be making fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
The world will be a hell of a lot nicer of a place.
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
like I'll show you video of my dysfunctional ass house. Do you know what I mean? Like my kids are literally like, it's like literally 5 times a day one of us says to each other, you're a psycho. You're a psycho. You know? Like,
I think everybody's dealing with that now, though. Everybody being trapped at home. Can you
yeah,
imagine?
but like you got to play on that. It's almost like
Yeah, you got to find humor in it, right?
yeah. I enjoy like stand-up comedy too. So
You should do stand-up comedy.
like this.
How many times have you been told that in your lifetime?
A bunch. The stories that, you know, you could really elaborate on and say the things that people feel, but they won't say it because they're worried about like what everybody's going to think of them.
Right.
But then again, like now it's when I was a bartender, which I mean, I still am, like someday when I get to go back to it, but it's hilarious. I stand behind the bar. I'm really good at my job and make fun of them. They make fun of me. It's all in good fun, you know, type of thing. But I'm pretty much the same character, whether I'm at home, if I'm out with friends, even when I'm at Pure Sweat. Like the people that come in there, they know what they're getting from me.
That's called personal integrity. You are who you are, and you're not a chameleon. You're not changing for the audience.
No, and I
around.
refuse to. I mean, the other thing too is the people that are so judgmental, they act like they never been through it, they never thought it, they never said it, they never did it. That to me is just like, ugh, it's exhausting sometimes.
Yeah, it's a lot of people are living their life in their head. It's a fantasy in their head, and it doesn't really jive with the reality of what they're doing every day.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and
the web's probably done that. But before we go, I want to get your thoughts on when do you think, what's your opinion in terms of opening up not just our businesses, but when do we get back to some semblance of normal, like large gatherings, baseball, football, hockey games? What's your best guess on that? It's a guess.
Right. So I think that, first of all, I think that anybody that's by appointment only, businesses that can control like having under 10 or you know, minimal people. I feel like they should have really never been shut down. Maybe a couple weeks till we all got kind of accustomed to what was going to be the new norm. But there's certain venues that I really feel like people just need to use their own judgment. Like, when are we going to get to the point where it's my decision whether I want to show up and potentially get COVID? Not really, but you know what I mean? Like, when is it going to be my decision to, you know, take part in a group, a group scenario? And is it going to be when the numbers are just like 0 every day? Is it ever going to be that way?
Right.
I don't, you know.
You're saying when am I going to be allowed to manage my own risk?
Decisions?
My
Exactly.
own risk.
Yes. So if you have a newborn baby, or you're, you know, maybe you're elderly, or maybe you're compromised, and I'm immune compromised.
And I'm elderly.
You're shit. You are such bullshit.
I'm getting close.
You got that baby face.
Oh yeah. Great.
But yeah, I feel like people should be able to micromanage their own decisions with things. I honestly, I don't think that we're going to see, and I hope that I'm wrong, but I think fall.
Okay. Well, that's actually optimistic. There's people that are saying there won't be large gatherings until January.
Listen to me. I just heard that my kid, like, I just heard, that's my favorite because I just did it. I just said, I just heard. Here's what I heard. Zero truth to it. That's how rumors start. Here's what I heard. but I did. I heard like somebody say that they heard that this kids aren't going to go back to school in August.
That's out there.
Listen, I'm dropping my kids off. I'm dropping them. They can
fend for themselves.
Put a blanket up. You have your Chromebook. I mean, yeah. West Allegheny, my kids are going to be sitting on your lawn at the end of August.
You're not alone there. I think a lot of parents are feeling exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and like I'm not working, so I can't even imagine the parents that are working from home.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
No.
I can't imagine. And I tell you what, I say to myself a million times since this mess started 2 months ago. I lucked out. My oldest is 19 and my youngest is 17, going on 37, and I'm not like, how do I say this? I'm not forcing them to do their homework.
Yeah,
they're on with it already, right? But
right.
my God, if this had happened like 10 years ago, I think I would have pulled whatever hair I had on top of my head out. It would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, people with little kids. People with little
here.
kids. I don't know. And then there's some of my friends who they haven't chosen to have children yet, and like I don't think they're going to after this. I really like they're all looking at us like, you assholes. You wanted to have kids.
Yeah. So, and that's funny you said that, because the joke was when this started that there's going to be all these babies born in the, like, where they add 9 months to this, a lot of December babies or whatever. The irony is, after being those that have kids, after being confined with them, they're probably not going to have any more.
And honestly, like, okay, like, so they're going to be all these quarantine babies. Like, listen, I don't want anyone to come near me. I don't want anyone near me. Right? So, like,
you want them all gone.
Yeah. Like, I'm leaving the house and I'm hitting the trail, and the people that are having quarantine babies, like, you must really love who you live with.
My friend, this was great.
I enjoyed this so much.
How can they reach your business? Number one, is it through Facebook, the Facebook page, or is there a website set up? How's it done?
So there is a website. It's www.puresweatsauna.com. Also, if you're familiar with the Mind Body app, it's an app on your phone, and you search Pure Sweat, and you're able to book appointments through that. We're looking forward to, again, I'm looking ready for that date. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I'll be able to make an announcement. I might just do it anyway. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
Are we recording?
You don't say.
You get to clip that out now. But so, and I know my clients have been amazing. They've purchased gift cards. Man, if you can help out your small businesses, do it. You're going to use it. There's longer restrictions on the gift cards, expiration dates and such. Like, support small business when you can, so.
Absolutely. If we come out with anything in this, I think the public should be a heightened awareness. We need to support small business over large business. Sorry.
Yeah.
As much as we possibly can.
100%. Honestly. So, and remember, everybody, to take care of yourselves now. When we come out of this, everybody's going to have a lot of like grooming and maintenance and things to do. So why do you think I got this long dress on? I wasn't trying to shave my legs.
Go to AA.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking AA meetings are going to be fucking huge when this is over.
Yeah. You know what? They're going to have them on the Zoom meeting now.
Oh my God.
So, but Eric, this was a blast. Like, I wish we could like hang out every week, and maybe just not even like, we can skip the recording and
just bullshit, eh?
Yeah, honestly.
I appreciate it.
I thank you so much for having me.
You bet. And we'll be back on soon, right?
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
All right. See ya.
Peace. And we are